And we are live. Welcome back, everybody. We are live from the Man Cave. My name is Paul Knapp, and I will be your host tonight. We have a panel of guests for you, all from the AOA, the Axis of Awesome. We also have a special guest coming to you, Michael Boinski. He made sure I pronounced that correctly. Boinski, not Buinski, not Boinski, like I said on my promo. So I apologize for that, Michael, but we will get your name right tonight. A couple things I just wanted to point out. This one thing tonight, some shameless plugs for you. Found a couple more channels I think you guys might enjoy looking up. Diorama Works, spelled W-E-R-K-S. He does 1/6 scale dioramas. You need to check that guy out. He's doing some great stuff. And whoops, let me put on the chats here. I thought we had the chats up. We don't. There we go. Big Boss Jack. All right, you're already on there. Thank you, sir. Also, I collect toy soldiers. I don't know if anybody else remembers collecting toy soldiers, but there's a couple of toy soldier 1/36 scale folks I'd like to point out to you. Toy Soldier 68. I think he's from Germany, but he does some really good stuff. You need to check out that channel. That's Toy Soldier 68. Another one is the Plastic General. He's out of Canada. He's pretty funny. You'll enjoy his commercials and his antics. And then also Call of Plastic. This guy does reviews on plastic toy soldiers, so make sure you check him out as well. All right. So we're going to do something different on our intros tonight. Instead of doing an intro, I asked all these gentlemen and everybody from the AOA to give me some motivational quote or something related to their toy soldier. So as I bring these gentlemen in, I'm going to read their quote that they gave me. And let's see, who can we start off with? We'll start off with this gentleman right here. Jim, you remembered this week when I asked you for a quote, don't you?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And Jim said, when it comes to protecting my toys, you will see a darkness the devil is even scared of.
Yep.
If you fuck with my collection, it's a road you don't want to go down. It will be your one-way ticket to hell. Man, Jim, that's pretty
brutal,
pretty
man.
hardcore, brother. You really protect those toys of yours, don't you?
I try. I do my best, man. I keep them protected. Got to save them.
That's right on. Let's bring up our next panel. And this gentleman here, you might want to cover your face up when I read this quote you gave me.
Why, yes.
I'm at a stage in my life where I'm not explaining my toys collection to anyone, not even the devil himself. Man, you guys are wrapped up with the devil this week, huh? If you got issues, figure them out. Blame me. Believe what you want, or go to hell. What is wrong with you guys with your quotes this week, man?
I don't know.
That is Robert DeCastro. Man, Robert, it's getting deep here. Getting deep.
I'm
man.
a psycho. Let's say.
Yeah. This guy said, "I keep my circle of toys small and my walls high. I don't play games when it comes to collecting. So don't underestimate me because I'm one twig away from snapping." Damn, bro. Tell you what, we got some mean toy collectors here. You guys had some really bad quotes, man. Hopefully it gets better with this guy here. Mike, let's see what Mike sent me. To keep my toys safe, I would burn the world to cinders and sit and watch the flames dance in the moonlight. Holy crap. If I have to be the villain to save my toys, then so be it. I will do it every time. This is Mike. GI Dojo. You guys are.
You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?
You guys are all psycho about your toys, man. Where did these quotes come from? Angela, nothing to say about that?
Oh, man. Yeah.
Birds of a feather.
Passion burns hot.
So I don't know. I think I have to go back to my intros instead of asking you guys for quotes, because these quotes are like straight out of hell or something. Man, you guys are vicious. All right, first things first. What's new in the zoo? And we're going to start off with Mr. Egner, since he was the first one to get online tonight. What's new in the zoo for you, brother?
Oh, I've just been working on some cool new custom stuff. I really can't talk too much about it. I did get a few new stuff done. Let's see, what was it? some mundane stuff. Somebody asked me for the lid for the tall radios and repair hinges. So that's coming up real quick. Let's see what else. Some stick grenades, but not German stick.
Yeah, potato mashers, huh?
That's kind of what I'm working on.
Nice.
Super cool.
Robert, what you got, man?
Well, I finished that monster back there finally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see it. And then
Yeah, I saw the video today.
yeah, it's all weathered. It's got like moss and everything, moss effects on it and everything. And then I got this in the mail. It's a 14-inch Amigo Gilman, and I'm painting up a bunch of these guys for a Monster Palooza.
That's your figure there, huh?
Yep. So that's what's new in the zoo.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yep.
Moving on down here. Angela, I think you were the next one up. What you got new in the zoo, bro?
Sound's gone.
Turn your sound up, buddy. Nope.
Can't hear you.
Angelo, you there? I don't have him on mute. I don't know what's wrong. You were there a second ago.
Yeah, your sound went off.
Use hand signals.
Nope.
Nothing coming in, bro. Nothing's coming in, man. I can't hear you. Sign off and sign back on. We're gonna go to you, bro. What's up, Mike?
Oh
What's new in the
well,
zoo?
got several parcels today in the mail. Got a Hall of Fame Cobra Commander. I got the new Art and Science Action Man figure from Cotswold. Had it pre-ordered since December 8th, and it just got today.
Geez.
So
Wow.
I got the cheap Officer Cadet, the basic version, because that to me that's like quintessential Action Man. And just put up a video of that, a little while ago. And I got a package from somebody else that's on the TV or on our stream here, Mr. Egner, and ordered some 3D printed Adventure Team headquarters hangers and slide hooks, and so now my Adventure Team headquarters is complete. Or well,
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, sorry about the screw up on your order there.
No.
Angelo, you got voice yet? Still no voice, bro. I think you better ditch the microphone and just go with your computer mic. Log in again.
Yeah, I was having something similar going on, so I can't use my new camera.
All right, Ange, when you get the sound back up, just unplug your mic and use the mic with the computer itself, but you're gonna have to log back in to get it to come back on. All right, my panel question for you guys tonight: how far will you go to repair a vintage figure? How far will you go? Whether it's how much money will you spend? How much time will you invest? What is it worth to you? How far will you go, Jim? How far have you gone on vintage?
Well, y'all know I'm a pretty hardcore vintage collector. I've waited years to find the parts I needed for certain figures. I put them in kind of two brackets. One bracket is, kind of a purist bracket where, that's got to have, if it's a slotted shoulder figure, I'll have to hunt down a, slotted shoulder part, but the other one is the backyard veterans, the ones that were played with and torn up and are just beat to crap. And those guys, I actually use some of my own 3D printed parts for. So I went to the trouble to design up and 3D print. I can't do hands or feet or that sort of thing, but forearms and shins and stuff like that. I did up some of my own repair purposes.
Cool.
I like that line of logic. That's actually pretty good. Is it me? Is it my turn?
Yeah, your turn, bro.
Well, I actually like one of the things that I have consistent problems with is like the African American Adventure Team guys. The kind of plastic that they use for those they pretty much crumble. They're about as sturdy as cold chocolate. And but the thing is, I'm not anywhere near like a purist. So I mean, I'll go as far as use Cotswold body parts to restore those. You know what I mean? I think more in terms of what Jim said, like the veterans. I see them. I pretty much see them all like that. So, I would go to those lengths to repair figures like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Mike, what about you, bro?
Everybody's got their different outlook on it. If I'm repairing something that's not valuable, like a timeless collection or masterpiece or 40th, I'll go to whatever lengths it takes to put like replacement Cotswold parts on it, like Elite Brigade parts. If it's something that's vintage original, maybe some of the purists would be mad about replacing it with Cotswold parts. They would think maybe you were trying to conceal the fact that it was partially reproduction. For that, I like to see maybe cool Frankenstein stuff like the Cotswold, cybernetic arms and stuff.
Yeah,
so it's just clear that it is reproduction.
So.
Yeah. I've got one of my original figures that I picked up at a garage sale many. This has been in the early 90s, and some dad had made a wooden forearm for the figure because the forearm apparently broke many years ago, and it done a fantastic job, painted it and everything, and so I did a lot of care to take put that Joe back, and it was a childhood collection. It was not a collector's collection.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun to see somebody go to that effort. I still got it too, so
that's amazing.
Part of the history of that figure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Angelo, are you there, Angelo? He came to talk. All right, so Angelo's just going to sign it to me. Angelo, how far will you go to repair a vintage figure? How far?
Don't know.
Really far? Real far? Okay, so Angelo said he's going to go. He will spend more than $1,000, Angelo, to fix a vintage figure. We're going to get no help from Angelo tonight, and I know
help. Can you hear me at all?
Yeah.
All right. All
Am
right.
I back? Yes,
Yeah.
I'm back.
All right.
All right. Well, you know that wooden forearm, I got it beat. It didn't come out as good. But what I did back in the day when all my G.I. Joes were all Franken Joes because my cousins would blow them all up and I would have to piece them back together, I actually used a Bic pen, the hollow part of a Bic pen, and I would use the Bic pen for the forearm in order for it to work. And then I had plastic. I would have a little plastic that I would carve and cut to have the hole so that it would slide up inside it to connect to the hand. So they were totally free. And I still have some of them floating around in the closet. And those were my original. And then when you had clothes on them, you never knew the difference. Mm-hmm. You couldn't tell. And to me, it worked. And I used Bic pen.
Yeah,
wow.
So
I think you need to send those to Mike, Medic Mike, and have him repair this.
Medic Mike. He would not. I don't think he would like that job. I think he would want. All
right. Well, you got your sound back up. Thanks.
Yeah,
That's good.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. Is it coming out of the microphone? Can you hear it when I'm talking through here?
Yeah. It sounds better when you hold it up there too.
All right. Yeah. I don't know what happened. It must be because I was sick. Maybe
that's what it was.
That must have been what it is. It throws everything off.
All that crud's getting in the microphone, man.
Yeah, I was just looking at the chats. Look like Gage is in the house. So
I was just gonna say that we got Big Boss Jack. He was always the first one in. We like that. Gage.
Yep.
Gage, glad you joined us tonight.
Big Boss.
GIA, Geography in Action's with us.
So are you going to get Big Boss Jack on this show or what? Dude, is he just going to be on the?
It's funny because he won't give me an email address or anything. I want to get him on. I know. Gary Curtis too. I wanted to get him on as well. I think he's in Texas, right?
Who?
Gary Curtis. He's always watching the show.
I don't know.
And I know GIA is up in Canada.
Yeah.
So they don't have internet up there yet, so he can't really. He's probably at a library. I think he's at a library, local library or something. So. All right, it's about that time to bring in our special guest. If you guys are ready, I got a quote from this guy too, as well. Actually, let me see. Which one did he send me? When it comes to my toys, if you break them, then I'm going to break you really bad.
Yes.
I don't give a fuck if you're 3 or 53. Wow. I will protect them at all cost. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line from this guy we just brought in.
Hey,
Mike.
Hey,
there he is.
Magic Mike.
Mike, did I pronounce your name correctly this time? I know I did.
Yes, you did, sir. We're good to go.
I apologize again for that, man. But
no worries, man. You ain't the first one.
It's an honor and a privilege to have Medic Mike on our show.
Yeah, same back at you. It's an honor to be here.
So we got some questions lined up for you tonight, brother. And I know
okay.
Angelo's probably got pen and paper. They're going to write down all of the tricks that you give them, tricks to the trade. So
yeah.
You got your beer ready? This is going to be a 45-minute. Okay, good.
There, you got it
ready to rock, guys.
I see the refill.
First off, brother, my first question for tonight: what type of YouTube channel would you say you run? I've seen it before, but for people that don't know your channel, can you kind of explain to them what you do?
Okay, what I try to do is be both instructional and entertaining. I'm sure you guys have probably noticed by watching it that it's pretty raw. It's just me. I don't bother a whole lot with editing or anything like that. I just want people to see me fixing the stuff, see me as a person, and hopefully give them the knowledge that they need that I've gained through working on this stuff over the years, to spread it so that they can fix this stuff on their own. Hey, if you want to send it to me and give me some money for it, I'm okay with that too. But if you want to fix it for yourself, I'm more than happy to help you out and show you how to do it.
That's good, because a lot of people won't do that.
Right on.
Well, hey, it's like this. My whole goal with the whole thing when I started was just to fix my own stuff. And then I had people ask me to fix stuff. And I was like, yeah, okay, send it on over. I'll put some flock on there for you, or I'll fix your broken wrist peg or whatever the case may be. And then I had another guy say, hey, dude, you should be doing this for money. And I was like, oh, wow, that's not a bad idea. So anyhow, so I just started to do it and charge, as low a price as I possibly can. It's as simple as that. My main goal is I want to get as many of these guys, many of these toys back on the shelf, back on display, back into the hands of people to play with them, to display them, to do whatever you like with them. I had so much fun with that stuff as a kid. It's I just want to see as many of them put back together and doing what they were intended to do.
Yes. Right on.
And how'd you get involved with Pawtucket? I met him at the Hershey show last year.
Okay.
You mentioned it, man.
Okay, I'll give you it's a short story. I'll give you that one. It's I was the original G.I. Joe collectors group. I met Billy Reynolds, who's the leader of that group, and he is the guy who gave me a little push that I was just talking about. Hey, you should maybe do this for money, right? And he kind of spread the word around a little bit. And Jeremy Milford from Pawtucket Platoon contacted me, and we talked, and we came up with with a basic deal. And it's like he sends his stuff to me, I fix it up for him, and then he goes ahead and puts together those awesome ass custom and vintage sets that he does. Yep. Jeremy and I have had a pretty decent relationship for the past couple of years doing this, and I really enjoy it. Again, that's another way to get more of these guys, out of the attic, out of the basement, out of the flea markets, and back on display shelves and into people's hands to play with. And that's how I met Jeremy. Oh, hell yeah.
And you make some cool boxes too, man.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of those boxes. I love them coffin boxes that he sells. They're nice.
We got a question from the chats already for you, Mike.
Okay.
It's from GIA, which is Geography in Action. He's the guy in Canada.
Okay.
Do you know a trick to get the wheels off of the mobile support vehicle, the axles?
Yes, I do. Give me one second, and I will.
A couple weeks ago, and I said I didn't know.
Yeah, this idea is not mine, but I will show it to you.
All right.
Right back.
All right.
You must have seen the live stream with your British friend there, Paul.
Yeah, I know. Simon walking away from the
Okay.
This is a great question.
Okay. It's really simple. What I used to do is this: is I would take hot water or a hairdryer, and I would heat up, the plastic down there on the wheel axle, or where the wheel,
Yeah,
where the
yeah,
axle slides into the wheel. Yeah, okay. And I was able to get them off usually. And sometimes you could even just twist and pull and they'll come off, but it's a real bitch. So anyhow, I cannot remember who the hell it was, but guess what? I had some guy point out to me, hey, just cut these little tabs off. And then the whole thing comes out. And then when you put it back together, you take a couple of little pieces of plastic and glue them on there to hold it back in. So simple, I never even thought of it.
So you just literally cut the plastic then to get in there. Huh?
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
you just cut the
And leave the axle together. Leave it all together. Yeah.
That's right. You just cut that little tab off. Like I said,
Yeah.
I slapped myself upside the head when it was suggested to me because I was like, damn, that's so simple. It didn't even enter my mind. But yeah,
wow.
that's the way to do it. That seems to make the most sense to me. And then you can just obviously just paint it yellow or whatever if that's important to you.
Yeah, sure.
Wow.
Very cool.
Outback Stu is in the house with us. Thanks for joining us tonight. You know, last week we had 62 people watching us.
Wow.
Live. We had 130, I think, that followed up with it. But we only get a couple people that text in. So if you're watching, don't be afraid to just chat in and say, hey, we're watching from Michigan or we're watching for somewhere else. It'd be nice to know who's actually watching the show.
Yep.
So any questions from the field before I start my list of questions?
I know.
Actually, I want to know a little bit more about the talking mechanism, Michael. I said I've sent my buddy Bill has sent several of the talking mechanisms to you and fixed them up great. He raves about your work. Every time he has a talker that's not working, he wants to send it to you. So thank you for doing all that for him, for sending the ones to me. They're absolutely beautiful work, craftsmanship, awesome. I want to know, when I look at the string, it looks brand new. Do you have like a brand new, how does it look so clean when you send them back?
Oh, that's simple. I replace the string every time. The way I do it is, let me show you here. When I do my talking repairs, I sell them on two levels. One is just the torso and just fix the talking unit. And when I do that, I replace the needle, the string, the pads on the flywheel. I give it a thorough cleaning and replace the back pad, the same piece that I forgot to put on yours last one I sent to you. And anyhow, then I just use this stuff. This is from Amazon. It is a 0.05 millimeter braided nylon cord. As far as I can tell, it's pretty much exactly the same as the stuff that originally came with it. Then I just use a magic marker to mark the colors on there. And it seems to work pretty dang well, and that's why they look brand new, because I replace them. As far as I'm concerned, the amount of talkers that I've looked at, most of them that I get seriously need a rebuild of those common wear parts. And the material the string is made out of tends to stretch over time, and that's why you get those tangles. Like you pull the string out, you let it go, and he starts to talk, and it tangles up on the way in. That's because the string stretches out. So you replace that string with a brand new one, and that doesn't happen anymore. Let's see, what else? That's probably the most important thing about the strings, is just simply replace them. A lot of guys are so into vintage that they don't want to replace a string that appears to be in good condition. But they don't think of the fact it's 50 years old. It's stretched. It's old. It's got frays on it. That kind of goes back to my philosophy about how to fix these things too. I mean, if you got a vintage piece that's in perfect condition, well, okay, fine. Yeah, dang, you want to keep hold of it. But how much of this stuff is still in perfect condition after 55 years?
Just look at us.
Yeah.
Perfect condition.
But anyways, that's how come they look brand new, Ange.
And that's great, and I didn't realize that was just marker on the ends of the string when you pull it out. And it always baffled me. And I was like, how is it that when you pull it a certain distance out, that it knows what to say? And I was racking my brain trying to figure that out. And when you have the colors on there, so you must know exactly where then to put the color of the marker in order for it to say that phrase.
Well, actually, it's a little bit easier than that. Hold on, let me grab a talk unit here. I
All right.
expected a few questions in
See,
this.
it's a trend.
He's
I expected a few questions in this venue, so I went ahead and did that. Okay? You got the string right here, okay?
Yep.
Now you see the needle arm over the tape, right? And it's got that little spring on there that likes to get
Yep.
lost. Okay. When you pull this thing
Right.
out, okay, pull it out
Yep.
all the way. And I don't know if you can see this. I hope you can. But if you look at the tape there, if I got enough light in here, there are grooves in the tape.
Yes.
Yep.
Right.
When you let
right.
go, when
Just
you
like a
pull the
record. Just like
there you go, right there. Now, when you pull the string out to a certain distance, it engages different grooves that run it into the grooves that say the different phrases. You see what I'm talking about? As I'm releasing the string a little bit here.
Yep.
Okay, those marks tell you how far to pull the string out in order to get each different phrase. So if I let it go further down the color lines there, you can see it would engage a different one of those grooves that you see off to the. It's on my left in this picture. I'm not sure if it's backwards or not, but you see what I'm saying?
yes.
Yeah. And that's how that works. That's how it does the different phrases. Those color marks on the string just tell you how far to pull it out for the different phrases.
And it's amazing. And for this to be, the 1970s, for them to create that type of technology to be able to play the different phrases with the different lengths of string, I just think it's fascinating. The quality and the advancement that they had for that time. I think it's amazing. And for you to be able to bring it back to, brand new condition, more or less, I think it's fantastic. And we are all very thankful that there are people like you out there that allow us to have those toys new again. So thank you for that.
Well, you're quite welcome. Thanks for the praise too. I'm glad to see that people like my work and that they are happy with the with the condition of their Joes when they get them back. That's one of the most rewarding things about this is when I fix something, and it doesn't matter really what it is. If it's just putting a regular Joe back together or fixing a talk, whatever, and a guy says to me, "Wow, this is just like Christmas 1972," or it's like it was brand new. It's like, yeah, that makes you feel good all over. I said that's one of my things on it.
Well, because you do it the right way too. Because I've seen your videos. I mean, you do it right. I mean, you actually, like with the needles, you actually use a phonograph needle.
Mm-hmm. That's correct. Yeah.
Right.
I
mean, you go as far as getting like the strings to be as close as possible. I mean, nothing there is jungle rigged, Yep. So that's why.
I also try to make them a little better too. If you look at a vintage string, for example, like you were just talking about, Bob, you guys can see that it's got that crimp connector on her hand. Let me get this in front of the camera. There we go. See, it's got that brass crimp connector on there.
Yes.
Well, yeah. Sooner or later, that thing's going to slip, and sooner or later, that string's going to stretch, right? So I just go ahead and tie it off real good, and I put a drop of super glue on there to make sure it don't move. I can improve on the vintage design a little bit to keep that thing working for longer, I'm going to do that too. It's kind of about it's about quality as well.
Right.
Yep.
Jim, you can't print any of that in 3D, can you?
Well,
but he can.
Some parts,
You want me to?
I might have sent Mike some stuff.
Yeah, should I tell him about that too?
Don't give all your secrets out tonight. Don't give all your secrets out tonight.
Yeah, but another thing I like about Mike's videos is, like little pointers like do not use WD-40.
Oh God, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But it's okay, but I don't really have this in here. No, I don't use it on talkers. No, it's not good for 'em.
And Mike, how do you really feel about the reissue stuff? I mean, how do you really feel about this? I watched your one video where you're like, yeah, straight out of the box, crumbled. You're like,
oh, okay, gotcha.
Tell us how you really feel. Tell us how you really feel about that 40th anniversary figure.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I don't really hold back too much. perfectly straight. I like the repro idea. I love it that Hasbro came out with them and put them out there, because, you can have a similar Joe if you don't have the money for vintage stuff. But I'm sorry, the workmanship is for shit. Okay. I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, the heads are fine. I mean, you can take one of those heads and you can stick it on a Cotswold bod, which I do regularly. And this is from from an AA repro, and they work just fine. But the rest of the plastic they use is just of a far inferior quality to vintage, and it cracks really easily. It's like they're not worth messing with. It's kind of like what Bob was saying a little earlier and beforehand. It's like them damn the vintage AA Joes, they crumble away. And what are you gonna do? I replace all mine with Cotswold bodies. I mean, it's a matter of what works, and it's a matter of what lasts. You get my meaning?
Yes, indeed.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't give two shits about what other people think. About like, it's not G.I. Joe anymore. If you replace the ass, it doesn't have the G.I. Joe stamp on it.
There are a lot of purists out there.
It's better. I mean, purism is fine though too. I mean, in my personal collection, I have more than a few pretty nice, early Joes with the slotted shoulders and stuff, and I got more than a few really nice vintage ones.
Yeah.
But that's not the be all, the end all of the hobby. I like the classic collection stuff.
Yeah.
Like I said, I pointed out the problems with the repros, but they have their uses as well. I mean, the gear is great, even though the bodies suck. And you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My biggest pet peeve about the repro guys is that they're damn near impossible to take apart.
Yep.
Oh,
Right.
yes.
I got one guy that sent
Not
me.
breaking anything, yep.
Yeah, I got a guy who sent me some stuff that he wanted me to fix. It was all repro. He recognized the issue. He wanted me just to pop the heads onto Cotswold bodies, which is great. But get those heads off of those things. Oh my God! I mean,
Boil.
You'll create
boil
more
'em. You gotta
cracks.
boil them.
Yeah.
I gotta because
I use
when
a hair.
Go
ahead.
when I'm flocking them, I boil the shit out of the heads. And my wife, she still talks about. She laughs because sometimes when I get some in, all the bodies are upside down. I got a special pot that I have on the stove, and all the figures are all naked, upside down, with their heads in the boiling water. She walks in, she's like, "What the frack is going on here?" Taking pictures and posting it to her friends. This is my crazy ass husband. So, but that's the only way. I got to boil them in order to get them soft enough to pull the damn things off because they got an extra ridge on their neck post.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Probably
sir.
think you're doing some kind of voodoo spell on somebody.
Well, I do that too, but I saved that for Friday nights.
Hey Jim, what was that bag? What was that bag you had there? Is that all the?
Oh man, this is a whole bunch of 40th arms.
40th anniversary.
Take the hands off of. Yeah.
Right on.
Wow. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, they snap right at the connection. Right at the connection, they snap, and then you can't even take the inserts out.
Nope.
I don't know. You'd have to get a drill bit or something. You can't even pop it out. It's a nightmare. I don't understand what in the world they did, knowing that that was part of the big thing about Joe in the day was being able to take the parts off and repair them and replace them. And you can't even do this, as they call it repro, but you might as well just have glued them to freak together.
Yeah, I kind of think they must have done some sort of pressure fit or heat fit or something. It makes it impossible. Yeah.
Child proofing is what that's all about. They were just concerned about kids popping the heads off and
eating them.
Eating them.
Yeah. Yeah, stuff like that. I mean, when we were kids, you did all that stuff and it didn't kill us. I mean, it's like, okay, why do they think it's going to kill somebody nowadays? I don't know.
Because they're
Mike?
stupid nowadays. Sorry.
What were you gonna say? Sorry.
On the 40th with the clear wrist pins or whatever.
Yeah.
I've had luck drilling them out and then screwing like a wood screw into the insert, and then you can yank it out. You can put some metal pliers on the metal screw head and yank it out.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, there's your next tutorial. So you're gonna have to do a tutorial on that one.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's your next video.
There you
You
go,
know what?
man.
We can watch that.
I got more than a couple of those bods laying around here. Maybe I'll try that and show you how to see if it works.
Hey, Mike.
All right.
Another question for you. I know you're fixing 1/6 scale, but do you have your own collection? Do you keep a lot of stuff?
I keep a lot of stuff, but it's mostly all 1/6 scale. There's a couple other cool toys that I hang on to. I've got a working big track, which I really think is cool.
Oh, I love my big track.
Ooh, I
Oh
love
yeah,
those.
yeah.
I love
Oh
those.
yeah. That thing is cool to play with too. I got it all
Yep.
working and everything.
Do you fix those? Do you fix those?
I fixed 2 of them. I can probably fix more. Depends on what's
Oh,
wrong.
I
with them.
got one. I got 2. One
Yeah,
needs
I've got
some
one. Send
work.
you
I found that the biggest problem with them, with the 2 that I fixed, the main problem was that the gears were all gummed up and they needed to be cleaned and oiled up. The drive system in them things is really cool. It's tough to explain on here, but they basically use an LED with holes in the gears to tell the circuit board, the little chip on the circuit board, what position the wheels are in. So that's how it counts. That's how it counts the distance that it's going. But yeah, those tend to get all gummed up in the 2 that I worked with, and it wasn't hard. It wasn't all that tough to fix either.
Well,
So
excellent.
can I send you mine?
If you want me to take a stab at it, I'll take a stab at it for you, man.
Awesome. All right. Now,
Hey, Mike, when you were growing up, you were more of a Adventure Team collector guy or more of the military series? Or
Adventure Team. I was born in '64. I got my first GI Joe in Christmas of '71. So for me, the Adventure Team is my favorite line, and it will rule forever.
Yes.
Not to say that I don't have more than a few military Joes now, too, though. You can blame my friend Eric Lorenz for infecting me with that disease.
is Eric the other guy in the Medic Mike and Eric?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Team,
Eric.
team?
Yeah, that's right. Eric's one of the first guys I met on Facebook. That's something else that I would kick myself in the ass for. I've been collecting since about 2099, right in there. And I knew there was a community, but I never got involved with it, and it was like I just kind of figured, well, gee, I'm going to look like a dork if I do this. But as I went on and on collecting more and more and more, I wanted to have more contact with collectors. So I didn't really get involved with the community until 2017, which I'm thinking to myself, oh, boy, you're a dummy. You missed a lot of stuff. But yeah, it is what it is.
Hey, whatever works, man.
Oh, yeah. Say something else, too. I want to give a shout to Eric here real quick, if you're that. I met him on the original G.I. Joe collectors group, and I was looking for a piece, and I'll be damned if I can even remember what the hell it is. But I put out there, hey, I want this. Has anybody got it for sale? He came back at me and said, yeah, I got one of those. And I said, okay, how much you want? You know what he said? Ain't nothing. I'll send it to you. Wow. And he sent me the piece, and I was like, sweet. Yep. So ever since then, Eric and I have kind of thrown stuff back and forth at each other as needed and as we had it. So yeah, big shout out to Eric. Hey, buddy, how you doing, man?
See, Jim's not like that. He still has me on my payment plan.
Yeah.
Jim, I still owe you like $50 on that last piece. So.
Yeah, I'm running a tab up on you there.
I know. My PayPal's not where it should be right now.
Right. Well, that's what it is. It's a community. It is a community, and like Jeff was saying before about what the AOA was, and that it is a community, and it's not just that. It's all the guys together, and you're helping each other out, and finding those pieces that you don't have, or fixing the things that need to be fixed. There's going to be someone out there that knows how to do it. You just got to be able to ask, and there's people willing. Are there asses out there? Absolutely. Are there people that are just looking out for themselves? Absolutely. But when you're part of the community and you start to build these relationships with these people, it's the best hobby that there is. I mean, and we get
all those asses are on eBay, man. Because when I'm looking for parts, that's where they're at, man.
Right.
They're selling an arm for $50. It's like, come on, man, dude.
Yeah. What I can just say about it is real simple. I mean, some of the best people I've met my entire life, online or offline, have been in the GI Joe community on Facebook, and it's a good thing. It's been good for me, and it has enriched my life. There we go.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Hey, Mike, here's a question for you. On my list of questions that I have, do you find working on Joes for customers stressful or more relaxing, like rewarding? Is it more of a stress reliever or a stressor?
It's a little bit of both. It's very rewarding for the reasons I said before. People are very happy when you give them back their Joe, and they're like, wow, it's just like brand new. And, I get that same rewarding feeling from fixing them up, and for them, the purposes as I do it, get them all back on duty is what I kind of use as a motto. It can be very stressful at times, and it can be very stressful a lot of the time. As a matter of fact, when I have so much stuff and I'm struggling to keep up with people, and I got to tell you, hey, it's like, it's going to take me 4 more weeks to get your stuff done. That makes it kind of like that. As far as the people that I fix for, most of them are pretty understanding about that. They get the point that you got to go to work and you have other things that you have to do. And so very rarely have I encountered anybody who made it stressful. If it gets that way, it's usually because of me, because I'm being hard on myself.
Yeah. You're a perfectionist a little bit.
Oh, just a touch.
I can tell. Little OCD. Not diagnosed, but a little OCD.
It's never been diagnosed, but I can see it in myself.
Yeah.
No argument there.
Yeah, when it comes to doing things for others, it's always got to be like that. I'm sure Jim feels the same way when he's doing things for other people. You want it to be your best, and you don't ever want someone to say, "Oh, they didn't take their time, or they didn't show enough passion or compassion in doing this."
Oh, hell yeah.
It was just a job. It was just a job. And I never, when I'm doing flocking out of the heads, that's why I don't do a lot, because I always take extra time to make sure that they're as perfect as I feel that they can be, because I don't want anyone coming back saying, "Oh, that doesn't look quite right." So you put a lot of pride into it, and that's what it is. And I would say today, in today's society, there isn't a lot of people that put pride behind their work and what they do. But here, what we're doing, and this community does, we put pride in what we produce and share with.
Definitely.
Right. Well said.
Yep.
Agreed, 100%.
It's sort of like our art.
Yes, it is art. Yeah. It is art. It is art, and it's part of us. It's part of we put into every single piece, and part of what we're doing is part of us is there. And you're going to say, someone's going to pick up something, whether it's a head or whether it's a 3D part or whether it's the talker unit. They're going to pick that up later on and saying, someone made this or fixed this with love and care, and you want to be remembered for that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
definitely. Most definitely. I don't want anybody to ever say that, hey, Mike Boinski took the quick route and did a shoddy job.
Right.
That's part of the reason it takes me longer than I think it should sometimes too. So, but I'm not gonna turn out BS work. That ain't gonna happen.
No.
Yeah.
Yep.
Happens to me all the time. I can't seem to feel like I'm doing stuff fast enough. That seems to be a real problem.
Yeah, you wish those machines can churn them out faster too, huh?
Yeah.
I wish I had the flocking machine that Hasbro had back in the day.
Oh,
yeah. Just a line of heads just coming down, just spinning down.
Yep,
like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
And even when I'm doing it, I don't like when the hairs are shooting straight out. I actually, if you ever look at any of mine, they're
uniform. I don't see
brother.
I don't see strands sticking out or anything.
No, you don't. You won't find that on mine.
You use one of those shavers or something?
He won't tell us, man. He still hasn't told us yet what he's doing.
No, I know. And did you see the last ones I did? The guy wanted all those pencil mustaches. Did anybody see those?
Porn stashes.
Holy cow. Talk about difficult, because you had to use the tiniest amount of glue. And in order to just get that on that lip, because you look at that head, there's not a lot of room on that lip.
Yeah.
And
those were all 1 millimeter, right, Fanch?
That was all 1 millimeter. You're right, sir.
Yeah.
And that was a pain in the ass
to work with.
I love that. That was and they were very happy. So that made my day.
And best thing I find to do is just to do this too, to make them look neat. This is an improvement on vintage as well.
Yeah.
You go ahead and you I think I showed you this trick before, Angelo. You go ahead and use your razor blade to kind of smooth that stuff out around here,
Yep.
and along here. Yeah. It makes it look a lot neater than the vintage stuff. And
Absolutely.
on top of that, so.
Damn.
Yes, sir.
I like how you're using epoxy too, like 2-part epoxy, because I noticed a lot of people use the Gorilla Glue, but you use the 2-part epoxy. I like that.
Yeah. Gorilla Glue. I mean, I don't I do not know how in the hell people use Gorilla Glue. That shit dries so damn fast. There is no way in hell that I can get that head flocked and do the, the stuff I just showed you, straightening out the beard lines and stuff before the crap dries. This stuff I use, it's a two-parter. It's Bob Smith's 2-part epoxy, 30-minute.
Yeah.
And that gives me plenty of time to glue up the head, make sure that there's no spots that I missed, get it in there, flock it, and then do the, the fine tuning at the end.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Angelo, you use a Gorilla Glue, don't you?
I'm a Gorilla Glue guy. Yeah, that's me. I got using that, and I just loved it, and it just works for me. And I just like the consistency. I like the way it spreads out very evenly. So I've used that. I've never had any issues with it. They say they have like a 5-minute work time. And that's what it takes me to get everything set the way I want it. It's the afterward, after I have the flock on the head, that's where more of my time is spent getting everything to look the way I want. But getting that glue on, I got that pretty down pat, where I'm able to do it within that 5-minute time frame.
Wow. Well, you're quicker than I am at it. It takes me.
I'm going to need more time than that.
Yeah.
I use
takes me a little longer than that, but I'm picky about it.
Yeah, really.
I
See
hear
Mike
ya.
down there.
Yeah, I use Gorilla Glue on my head and my beard.
Well, it's good, man. It looks good. Looks good.
Yeah, it looks like
Hey, Mike,
Angela's
while I
with it.
got you still for the next 10 minutes, I have another question for you, man. I always ask this of all the 1/6 scale collectors. Where do you see the 1/6 scale in the future?
I think that what's going to wind up happening is that it's going to slowly die out. I know that sounds kind of pessimistic, but I look at it this way. Guys my age, I'm going to be 59 in 2 weeks. And I played with the Adventure Team stuff in the 70s. Guys 10 years older than me grew up with the military stuff. They played with that stuff. And as those guys in this, who play with the 60s stuff die off, it's going to go away. The same goes when people in my age bracket, in fact, you guys are on my age bracket, we start croaking off, that's going to go away too, unless we get younger folks into it and still playing with it. But at some point, eventually, probably within the next 30 to 40 years, this stuff's going to be looked at like depression glass or the tin toys from the 40s. You see what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I know it sounds kind of depressing, but I don't see it lasting a whole heck of a lot longer. Some younger guys will carry the torch for a bit, but that's not going to last forever either.
Yeah, I agree. It's sad. It's sad to think about it that way, but you're absolutely right. I mean, and you hear like every day someone on Facebook, so and so's getting older, they're sick, they're trying to get rid of their collection, they don't know what to do with their collection, and it's sad to start to see that happening, but it's happening more and more. And like I said, it's nice to try to get the younger guys into it, but the younger guys starting to get into it, where are those older guys going to be able to help them out unless they learn part of the trades and things that we're doing with the figures to maintain them, to keep them pristine, to refurbish them? We won't be here for that. So I think then, like you said, that's when it's going to start to fizzle, because they won't have that opportunity unless they learn it. And I don't know if that's out there.
Hence my video. Hence my videos. That's why I'm spreading the knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think there's another wave coming, and that's the folks that played with the classic collections from the 90s. I think those folks are just now starting to get to a point to be nostalgic, kind of like we were probably in the early 90s when we started thinking about collecting Joes. But I think, Mike, you're spot on. As my generation ages out and my kids look at my stuff, what are they going to do with it when I'm gone? They're probably just going to sell it because they don't have much of an interest in it.
Yeah.
And, it's unless Hasbro or something like Hasbro comes along and creates some sort of new wave, a new edition or something that really generates a lot of imagination. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I think like
another
Greg from Filmaholics, I'm kind of more on his train of thought, where you see, when you say 1/6 scale, I think our circle thinks of 1/6 scale as GI Joe, but I think more like 1/6 scale as like a genre, like rock music, jazz, and I don't think 1/6 scale is ever going to go away. It's a format, you know. It'll just have different iteration, because right now, like companies like Hot Toys and stuff like that, they're still making a lot of 1/6 scale stuff. You know, like
it's just not Adventure Team. It's just not the stuff we have.
It's not like the stuff we play with, you know, but it only takes a change of culture, because things just need to go back. Like, because the reason why G.I. Joe is popular was because the culture, the kind of shows that was being shown, the kind of cartoons, that all supported the kind of play that we had back then. You know, and those things kind of move in cycles. If they come back again in whatever decade is coming down the road, that could be the chance for a resurgence. You know, when they see that, like, like shows like Johnny Quest come back, when those become fashionable again, that might be the chance for something like G.I. Joe to come back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right. But as far as 1/6 scale, I don't think 1/6 scale will go anywhere, because it's just a format.
Gotcha.
We've
Yeah, I
always,
understand what you're saying.
we've always
that's
got
that's a good point. Yeah.
we've always got Barbie.
Barbie's never going away. I don't know why.
Right.
G.I. Joe.
That's a
Paint
good-
Barbie
that's a
green.
good-
It works.
That's a good environmental indicator. If Barbie ever just disappears, then it's time to panic. You know what I mean? Right. Because that's what started G.I. Joe, after all, was
That's
Barbie.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
True.
Yep. So yeah, there it is.
Yeah. Ken wasn't manly enough. They had to get rid of him.
Hey, Mike, did you have you said Adventure Team was your era. Did you have
That's
a
right.
favorite, either Adventure Team figure or Adventure Team set that you had?
Oh yeah, definitely. There's a good little story about that too. My first GI Joe was a Sea Adventurer that I got in the Christmas of '71, and my dad and my mom bought that for me, and they got me a whole bunch of knockoff stuff to go with it, Mr. Action sets and stuff like that. But we always used to go to my grandparents' house on Christmas after opening the presents and going to church on Christmas morning. And I went over to my grandparents' house. Hey, and Secret Mission to Spy Island and Laser Rescue were waiting for me there. Hey, Grandpa knew what the good stuff was.
All right. Oh, wow.
It's also kind of funny because my grandfather told me this years later. He was like, yeah, your dad wanted just to buy a whole bunch of that cheap crap for you, but it didn't have the G.I. Joe symbol on it. That one. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And yeah, grandparents know. And anyhow, a little more to that. I got the mobile support vehicle in '72, or did I get? Yeah, I got the mobile support vehicle first in '72, and then in '73 I got a talking commander, and that combination was the shit for me. So the commanders are my favorite. I've got 8 or 9 of them, and more than a few talk boxes that need to be fixed, and find enough body parts to make some more. So, yeah, those guys are definitely my favorite. And as a side note on that mobile sport vehicle, I know my dad gave up a few 6-packs and a few packs of cigarettes to buy that for me, because
back in the day,
back in the day, 16.99. What he said to me when I pointed it out to him in the Sears catalog was, "My God, that's a small fortune." But he got it for me anyway.
Yeah.
And for a
Wow.
for a cop in 1974 or '73, that was a lot of money. So yeah,
Sure.
Awesome.
thanks, Dad.
Eddie
Yeah.
Burton, thanks for joining us tonight. There's some other guy, G.I. Joe: The Lost Chronicles. I'm not sure who that is,
Hey, who's that guy?
but
Yeah.
he's with us tonight. So
Never heard of
I
Uno
that.
don't think I've
momento.
heard of that. I'm gonna have to subscribe to that channel. I don't think I remember that one. So. Hey, Adam, how you doing, brother? Hope you're doing well.
Yeah, nice chupacabra there, bro.
Oh yeah, the
Yes.
Chupacabra story.
That was epic. I knew it was going to be good.
I told you he thinks that Chupacabra is real. Remember on one of the intros I gave him.
How do you know it's not?
Yeah, I
you're
think I
right,
saw it on my trail cam.
Hey, Bigfoot's real. I'm not sure about Chupacabra, but Bigfoot is real. We're getting down to the wire. I'm going to put you up there so you can plug your show or plug your channel or anything you want to talk about. Mike.
Okay.
Unless anybody else has last minute questions, gentlemen.
I got one.
Yeah, go for it.
How much you charging a flock a head at the time of this video?
$15 a head, man.
Cool. Is
Good
there a
deal.
website? Is there a website where you have your prices listed, or?
I have a price list set, but all you need to do if you want me to take care of some work for you is just shoot me an instant message on Facebook, man.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
I'm on there under this name, me. It's like, okay, let's see. There was another question. Oh, plug. Okay.
Yeah, plug your channel. Plug anything you want to talk about. Promote.
Okay, sweet. First of all, I'd like to give a huge shout out to the most important people for me in this deal is my clients and customers. Thank you very much for trusting me with your toys. Thanks very much for all the great feedback. I'm always going to do my best for you, and I stand behind the work. Thanks very much again. I'd also like to thank Jeremy Milford for his trust in me and helping him out on his end of this little deal we have. I'd like to thank my friend Eric Lorenz, who really kind of convinced me that this was a good thing to do and to be, a part of the community. Also, several other people, Ed Lee Merritt and Scott Wild, who has been very helpful with talker stuff when I have a question. He is basically considered a guru of talkers among the really, pure vintage guys, and he knows his shit. I learned a lot from him. Let's see, who else? I guess that's about it. If you guys want to check out my YouTube channel, it's under my name, Michael Boinski, and you'll find all kinds of videos there, where you can see how I fix things and my methods for fixing things. And my Facebook group, Medic Mike and Eric's Vintage G.I. Joe Sales Customs Emporium. And we try to share a lot of tips and show off our collections and stuff there. Yeah, I want to say thanks very much to you, Paul, for inviting me on, because this has been a blast. I've been having a good time with this,
flies
man.
by. I know people don't think about it, but
it goes.
It goes a bunch of old guys. Time flies.
Yeah.
Oh shit! It seems like I pushed the button to connect up like 5 minutes ago.
Right.
Well, I'm pretty sure you're part of the AOA now. We got 5 AOA guys here. I think we can all vote and raise a hand and say, let's let this guy in as a member. We also have
I vote too.
Pat from Elite Action Joe. He's in there. I'm sure he's voting yes.
Yeah, we got to say happy birthday to Pat. You got to say happy birthday to Pat.
Happy birthday, Pat.
Happy birthday to Mike coming up, right? So we got a lot of birthdays.
And Adam's watching too, so I'm sure he's going to raise his hand. So we'll be sending you the logo so you can put it on any future videos that you do, if you would. Get the AOA group message out there. I think that would be cool. And yeah, man, we are at the hour mark already. So unless anybody else has anything else.
Hey, Mike, I was going to talk to you about old movies, but we'll save that for another time.
Okay, we'll do.
We got a library of movies.
Oh, man.
Right.
Yeah.
I love it.
A huge one.
And next week, don't forget, I got Mr. Austin Huff, who has got the rights to the comic book for Super Joe. And he's going to be on talking about his new comic book coming out that he's also going to be distributing at the Dallas show, the Atlanta show, and the Kentucky show. So stay tuned to hear from him next week.
Excellent.
Other than that, gentlemen, have a great night. And thanks
Good
again,
night.
Mike.
Thanks very much, guys.
Angelo,
Thank
Mike.
you.
All right. Good